In this video, we're going to show you how to set up your tumble tramp section. With each 10-foot section of tumble tramp, you should receive 3 legs, 2 sides, 100 springs, 6 bolts, a set of pads, and with the order you'll also receive 2 20-foot bungee cord pieces, 2 15-foot twine pieces, 4 quick links, and 20 additional springs for each corner of the tramp. Depending on the size of your tumble tramp you order, you'll receive a bed that correlates with that size. In order to set this trampoline up, you'll need a crescent wrench and a roll of adhesive tape. The first step to putting your frame together is placing the sides on top of the legs. Once all the sides have been placed, securely fasten a bolt to where each leg and side connect. In order to start the springing process, you'll first need to suspend the bed. In order to do so, you'll need to take one spring from the D-ring of one corner of the bed and bring it to the furthest loop at the end of the frame. Once the bed has been suspended, the next step is to add one spring to the next D-ring on your bed, making sure to skip one loop on your frame. Continue this around the bed until all 4 D-rings have a spring on them, making sure to continue to skip one loop for each spring. In order to spring the remaining part of your bed, you'll need to have 2 people, one on each side of the frame. You'll need to start in the center of your tumble tramp frame and pull a spring from the bed to the center of the frame. Make sure to take turns when pulling the springs. To spring the remaining part of your bed, you'll need to first hang all your springs onto the hooks on the bed. Once all the springs are hanging on the bed, take the 2 center springs on your bed and pull them to the outside frame. Once your center springs have been attached, begin either on the left or right side of those center springs and hook your first spring, making sure to skip the first loop on the frame. Once the first spring is done on one side, make sure the second person hooks his in the same spot. Keep this process going between the 2 people on each side, remembering every 5 springs to skip one loop. Once your center springs have been attached, begin on either the left or the right side of those center springs and attach your first spring, remembering to skip the first loop on the frame of the trampoline. Make sure once the first side is done, the second person springs it in the same spot on their side. Continue this until you have 5 springs to either the left or the right side of the center. Once you have your 5 springs hooked to either the left or the right side of your center, begin on the opposite side, remembering to skip the first loop on the frame and hook another 5 springs. Once you have 5 springs hooked on both sides of the center, begin alternating between each side, hooking an additional 5 springs, remembering to skip the loop on the frame with the first spring you hook. Continue this process until your bed is fully sprung. The reason behind alternating between each side is for the bed to stay centered and the tension to stay even continually down the bed. Once your bed has been completely sprung, you'll need to add an additional 4 springs to each corner of the bed. Remember to alternate between each person on each side of the bed. Now that your bed has been fully sprung, you should notice a remaining wrinkle at the end of each side of your bed. To remove this wrinkle, you'll need to start the stringing process at the end. The first step is adding your quick links to the last loop at the end of your frame. Now that your quick links have been attached, take your bungee and insert it into the quick link and tie a knot into it to hold it attached to the quick link. Once your knot is firm, begin stringing the bungee through the loops at the end of your bed. Now that your bungee's been looped through the end of your bed, insert it through the opposite quick link and begin taking the bungee back and forth, alternating between quick links, remembering to keep tension on the bungee at all times. Continue alternating until all of the bungee's been used up. Now that your bungee's been looped till its end, come to the last quick link it's come to and tie a knot to secure the bungee in place. Once your bungee's been tied off, the excess that remains can be cut off. Now that your bungee's been tied off and secured, grab your twine and tie a knot on either end and begin wrapping it around the bungee. As soon as you start wrapping it, begin putting tension and holding it securely all the way down the end of the trampoline. Now that you've gotten to the other end of the trampoline, tie a knot securing the twine in place so the tension is held firmly. Now that your twine has been secured, you'll need to tape off the excess remaining bits of twine and bungee with adhesive tape.
Action.
Now that your twine has been secured, you'll need to take an adhesive tape and wrap it around the excess bungee and twine to hide the excess from showing. Now that your twine is secure, you'll need to take an adhesive tape and wrap it around the excess to hide it. After your bed has been properly hung, remove the film from the self-adhesive Velcro and run one strip the full length of the tumble track. Once you've run your Velcro down both sides of the tumble tramp, then you're ready to place your pads. Once all the pads have been placed down the tumble tramp, your assembly is complete.